Some people will push back when you stop overgiving because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. Their reaction doesn't mean you are wrong. It means you are growing. And when you start practicing these steps, you might feel guilty at first. That's absolutely normal. But guilt isn't always a sign that you are doing something bad. Sometimes it's just a sign that you are doing something new. Welcome to Soul Time, a show that explores the world of unlocking your unique potential. My name is Dr. Katja Makowka and I'm a teacher at school, a former teacher at universities, and a stress and mental coach. And I'm your host. We live in a culture that celebrates selflessness, especially for women, parents, teachers, caregivers, and leaders. But here is the hard truth. Sacrificing yourself isn't the same as loving others well. When you give beyond your capacity, you are not modeling kindness. You are modeling burnout. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for the people around you is to show them what healthy boundaries look like. Let's be honest, many of us learned very early that being good meant putting other people first. Maybe you were praised as a child for being the helpful one, the peacemaker, the one who didn't cause trouble. Maybe you grow up in a home where you learned to keep everyone happy to avoid conflict. Or maybe you were told directly or indirectly that your needs were too much. So you learned to push them down. And over time, those patterns don't just go away. They grow into an identity. The person who can be counted on, the one who always says yes, the one who fixes things when they fall apart. And on the surface, that might even feel like a strength. But here is the catch. Sometimes we are not doing it from a place of healthy generosity. Sometimes we are doing it because we are afraid. Afraid that if we say no, people will be disappointed. Afraid that if we stop over giving, we will stop being valued. Afraid that if we put ourselves first, even once, we will lose connection, approval, or even love. So we overcompensate. We take on extra work, even when we are exhausted. And we say yes to plans when what we really need is a quiet night to recharge. We offer help before anyone even asks, not just out of kindness, but out of a quiet fear that if we don't keep proving our worth, we will somehow lose it. And let's be real. Society celebrates this behavior. It celebrates the selfless giver who sacrifices sleep, rest, dreams, and joy to hold everyone else together. But it doesn't talk about the cost, the burnout, the resentment, the way you can lose sight of who you are outside of being useful to everyone else. And I want you to hear today, you were never meant to keep burning yourself down to keep others warm. You don't have to set yourself on fire to prove you are worthy of being loved, valued, or accepted. When you are constantly putting everyone else first, it doesn't just drain your schedule, it drains you. And at first, you might not notice it. You tell yourself you are just busy, that it is just a busy season. But slowly, your energy starts running on empty. Your body feels it first. The tension in your shoulders that never quite goes away. The way you wake up tired, even after a full night's sleep. The headaches, the irritability, the constant background hum of stress. And then your emotions catch up. You start to feel resentment toward the very people you love, which can feel confusing and even guilt-inducing. You find yourself snapping at small things, not because you are unkind, because you are running on empty. And maybe most heartbreaking of all, you start losing connection with yourself. You don't know what you actually want anymore because you have spent so long making everyone else's needs the priority. You struggle to feel joy because you are too tired to actually receive it. And this is the hidden cost of setting yourself on fire for others. It burns away your sense of wholeness, little by little. And when you run yourself down to nothing, no one actually wins. You are not at your best when you are depleted, and your relationships suffer because you are stretched too thin. Your work suffers because you can't focus, and you suffer because deep down, some part of you knows this is not how life is supposed to feel. And here is the thing. Giving from a place of overflow is beautiful, but giving from a place of empty, from guilt, obligation, or fear, is a fast track to burnout. And you are allowed to stop before you get there. You are allowed to take your needs seriously. And you are allowed to create space for yourself without apologizing for it. The first step to breaking this cycle is realizing this. You don't owe anyone an explanation for honoring your limits. Your needs are not an inconvenience. They are not a weakness, or they are not negotiable. When you start living from your standards, you stop asking, what will they think if I say no? And you start asking, what do I need to stay whole and healthy? And this shift is really powerful, but it can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you have built your identity around being the reliable one, the fixer, the peacekeeper. It can feel like you are letting people down, but what you are actually doing is letting yourself back in. Living your standards is not about shutting people out. It's about showing up with clarity and integrity. It's saying, this is what I can offer, and this is what I cannot offer. And here is the surprising thing. When you stop overgiving, you give others permission to step up. You create space for healthier and more balanced relationships. And the right people will respect it. And the wrong people will resist it. And that resistance isn't a sign you are doing something wrong. It's often a sign you are finally doing something right. So how do you actually live this out? Let's make it simple. Here are a few practical ways to set boundaries and stick to them without feeling like the bad one. Start with one area of your life. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Pick one place where you feel most drained. Maybe it's work, family, obligations, or social commitments. And then decide what your non-negotiables are and practice honoring them. Learn to say no kindly but clearly. No doesn't have to be harsh or dramatic. You can say, "Thanks for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now." Or, "That doesn't work for me, but I appreciate you asking." The key is to skip the long explanations. A simple no is enough. Protect your recharge time. Block time on your calendar for rest, for hobbies, and for just being. And treat it like any other appointment, because your well-being is just as important as any meeting. And notice when you are people-pleasing. Ask yourself, am I saying yes because I want to, or because I'm afraid of disappointing someone? This one question can stop you from giving away your time and energy automatically. Accept that not everyone will like it. And this is the hardest part, but also the most freeing. Some people will push back when you stop overgiving because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. Their reaction doesn't mean you are wrong. It means you are growing. And when you start practicing these steps, you might feel guilty at first. That's absolutely normal. But guilt isn't always a sign that you are doing something bad. Sometimes it's just a sign that you are doing something new. And over time, that guilt fades and it's replaced with something much stronger: peace. The kind of peace that comes from knowing you are no longer sacrificing yourself just to make others comfortable. And here is the truth most of us don't want to face. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. When you start setting boundaries, some relationships will naturally shift. Some will grow stronger. The people who love and respect you will celebrate the new you, the new version. And some may fade because they were never built on mutual respect to begin with. Letting go isn't easy, and you might question yourself, am I being selfish? Should I give them one more chance? Maybe I'm overreacting. But here is what I want you to remember. Choosing yourself isn't selfish at all. It's healthy. And when you stop pouring all your energy into fixing, pleasing, or managing relationships that drain you, you create space for the right people, the ones who honor your boundaries and value your presence. Letting go doesn't always mean a dramatic goodbye. Sometimes it's quiet. It's choosing not to respond right away. It's stepping back from the drama. It's letting the distance grow naturally instead of running after someone who doesn't want to meet you halfway. And here is the most powerful part. Every time you let go of someone who can't meet you in a healthy way, you are not losing, you are gaining yourself back. And your energy, and your peace, and your freedom. So, as we close today's episode, here is what I want you to sit with. Who are you still setting yourself on fire for? Who are you trying to convince, to please, to teach how to treat you? And is it time to stop? Because you deserve to live a life where you are not constantly overgiving just to feel enough. You deserve relationships that fill you up, not ones that burn you out. And this week, practice noticing where your energy goes. If it feels like you are constantly pouring out and getting nothing back, take one small step toward balance. Even one no can start the process of reclaiming your power. You're not here to be everything for everyone. You are here to be the healthiest, most grounded version of you, and the people who truly love you will never ask you to set yourself on fire to prove it. Welcome to Soul Time, a show that explores the world of unlocking your unique potential. My name is Dr. Katja Makowka, and I'm a teacher at school, a former teacher at universities, and a stress and mental coach. And I'm your host.